who haven't seen it, imagine a short sleeve old school Montreal Canadiens jersey. It's got the top of the jersey's red, the bottom of the jersey's red, the middle panel where the number is blue, and the shoulders have a blue stripe. It is, in a word, Don, repugnant.
It's a joke. It is an absolute joke. Those uniforms. Like you sign Nick Suzuki. Look it up. He's a Canadian. And it's honoring all the 38 Giants, the 33 Giants, the 28 Giants. Do you realize that they didn't have TV then? The only people that saw the uniforms were people in the stands. And back when they first started football, it was getting pulverized by college football, and basically nobody cared about it. They didn't put any thought into the uniforms. We are honoring them putting no thought into the sport. Do you realize when the NFL started, they didn't care about the sport? You know how I know? Because when they first started, they didn't have playoffs. You won the regular season, they handed you a trophy.
No effort.
How long did it take before they realized how stupid it was that the goalposts were on the goal line? It's funny. Go look at it in social media. There's like all these great videos of people like colliding into the goalposts. Because they figure, it's football. Nobody cares. Everybody's watching baseball. We're at war. The Giants, again, had the lowercase NY because they figured nobody's watching or caring about us anyway.
That's right. It wasn't until after World War II where they thought, let's spend
eventually,
time.
when we won the war, and we said, all right, maybe we can get back to actually caring and actually having uniforms. Do you look at all the throwback uniforms for the Steelers, for the Packers, for the Bears? They're all repugnant because nobody cared back then.
So why are you commemorating that for your 100 years?
Why are you celebrating the time that no one cared? Because that's what you're doing. You're celebrating the sport that was bland and no one cared about it. There were 12 people in the stands. That's football back in the 20s, people. Unless Red Grange was running around, nobody cared.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
So let's celebrate that. So let's have those uniforms that look absolutely it looks like a joke. Those uniforms are an absolute joke. Now there'll be somebody to be that guy and say, "Oh, Don, I think they look sharp." You're one of the original flagship franchises in the NFL. You're big blue. So let's throw a bunch of red around and let's have our pants be tan like they're running around in khakis like they couldn't afford real football pants. You're the New York Giants, for God's sakes. What are you doing? That doesn't look like the Giants.
4 rings, Don. 4 Super Bowl championships.
It looks like a beer league football team that couldn't afford actual uniforms, so they wore pajamas. Oh, we want to celebrate the heritage. The heritage of what? Turn of the century football was repugnant. They didn't throw the ball. They called it a gridiron because there was a grid. You couldn't pass the ball forward. Like they didn't know what they were doing back then. Football now makes sense. But there was a whole time where they're like, don't put too much thought into it. Teddy Roosevelt's going to pull the plug on this anyway.
It really, they look like CFL jerseys at best. If you saw these in the Rocks Football League, you'd go, what the hell is going on here? They couldn't come up better. My father used to get upset because he liked the throwbacks because it took him back to his childhood. He had passed away in 97, but whenever they would mess around with the old NY stuff, because it would bring him back to his childhood, I got it. But my dad used to always say, isn't it odd that their nickname's the Giants? Like you could do something with that. You can come up with like a character, a logo around a giant. That's a strong name, and yet all anybody ever came up with a great nickname, Giants, is a lowercase NY, and then eventually just putting Giants on the helmet. Oh, my God.
And now we're throwing back to it. Red. The primary color is red. Their nickname is Big Blue, Wrecking Crew. And then they roll it out in a video. And then it's a 45-second video, and finally in the last 5 seconds, you see that jersey. Talk about a poor ending. Like, you're all pumped up. They're showing highlights of Mel Hine and Frank Gifford, getting all pumped up like, this is great. Oh, there's Lawrence Taylor. There's Harry Carr. This is going to be
Sam
amazing.
Huff.
Whoa, Sam Huff. Alex Webster, they're bringing them all out. This is fantastic. Look at that. And then they show that jersey. It's like somebody vomited on themselves. I'm thinking they're going to roll out something really cool. There's a history here.
Mm-hmm.
They're tapping out on their own history, Peter, because we got to honor the 28 Giants. Guess how many people were at the game in 1928 that are alive today? None. Zero. Unless somebody gave birth to a baby at a Giants game in 1928, they're not on the planet anymore. You've got some nerve rolling that. It's disrespectful.
It's disgusting.
You know what John Mara did? He said, Don, come over here. I know you're a big Giant fan. Let me come over. I want to tell you a secret. Puh! Why'd you just spit in my face, John? What'd I do? I've been following this team since birth. My father followed this team. My grandfather sat there at Yankee Stadium watching this team. And you roll out a video, 45-second video of the heritage of this classic, great franchise, a flagship franchise, an original franchise that goes back to 1925, celebrating their 100th anniversary. John Maris says, come over here. Let me talk to you, Don. Don. Spit in your face because I don't respect you, your opinion, or our fan base. So you take your PSLs and your $50 to park and your garbage team, and this is what I got to sit in 2 games. It's 2 games too many. It's embarrassing. If I'm a player, I'm like, this is what I earned. This is what I worked my ass off for to join the NFL and wear this. Might as well wear a jersey with a kick me sign on the back.
Number 5, kick me.
It is tone deaf. Like zero clue. My God, you know it pains me to say.
Go ahead.
It pains me to say.
Say it anyway.
That we have the audacity as Giant fans to look down on the Jets and the Islanders and the Mets. Oh, you guys haven't won in a long time. You don't have our history. What are you doing? You're right up there with the way you play and the decisions that you make. Those uniforms are an absolute embarrassment, Peter. An embarrassment. And you roll it out like I'm supposed to get excited about it? Ooh, give me that. If somebody gave me that for Christmas, we're done.
Was the jersey out this morning, Anthony, by the time Dave was on the air?
It was at 10 o'clock. So.
So we didn't get his opinion?
I don't know. I'm sure I would be completely, even more disgusted if he disagreed with me. I wouldn't wipe my behind with those jerseys. Let me talk to you, Don. Don. You gotta, and the audacity again. I'm gonna throw that word out because that's the one word that really comes to mind. That you're honoring some sort of a history with the. Who the hell knows that history?
It's so weird.
I know the Giants' history. I watched Giants among men till it wore out after they won the championship in '86. I had the year-end video in '85. I know their history. I can rattle it off just like John can. He was there, I was there. All the pain, all the suffering. And I wasn't alive for 56, but my dad told me about it with pride about Sam Huff, Rosie Greer. He talked about these people. He talked about them in a whisper because he wasn't even sure he was the man to be able to even share these words with his son. That's how honored the tradition was. And this is the jersey you want to roll out in honor? And I'm supposed to get excited about it with a 45-second hype video and then that spit in the face at the end of it? You should be embarrassed. Disgraceful, Peter. It's disgraceful.
Well, I have enjoyed this segment. It's the least I've ever talked during a segment.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'll walk out.
Sorry. It was one of the great segments of my career.
I wish I hated John Mara. It would be so much easier. I love the man. I do. Talk to you, Don. I do. But I'm sorry. I have an opinion. I have a talk show. This is my opinion. An absolute, unmitigated disaster. That you would ask your and some Momo out there is going to buy the jersey and walk around proud. Like he's some sort of a diehard Giant fan because he's honoring the history of the 33 Giants.
Well, we'll hear later. I wonder if we'll hear from anyone.
Oh, we're going to hear. They're all going to call, Don, what are you talking about?
No.
Those uniforms are sharp, man. I can't wait
Everyone's
to get that
hate. No, I don't think so.
You're going to be upset.
I think people are going to hate it. We'll ask Lupica what he thinks, and then we'll take our phone lines completely jammed. We'll talk to you after that. And we're getting you all ready for Ranger pregame coming up at 6:30. And